So here's something that's been going on that I think we need to kind of talk about. And
Yes, yes. That's why you
there's
brought me here.
that's yes. You're like, I want to go to bed. Damn it, man. So there is this motion comic that has been talked about. The some people out there who are fans of the Snyderverse are doing a motion comic that is going to be not for profit, so no money passing hands. That's meant to raise money for AFSP, and it's meant to kind of tell the story of Justice League 2 and Justice League 3 based upon the storyboards that Zach had posted, they put out at that event in Dallas.
Yeah, the outdated ones that apparently are not reflective of the actual movies that Zach wants to make now at this point.
Yes, yes, the absolutely outdated ones that they want to do, and so there's been a bit of controversy around that, mostly over what people are saying is just tracing other artists like Jim Lee and
Jason Fabuk or Fabuk. I don't know how you pronounce his name.
I'm not too sure. I'm not. I'll tell you this. I don't really know much about the artists. To be fair,
Yeah.
I don't.
Yeah, the biggest one is Jim Lee. That's the one that people are getting upset about.
Yeah, that is the one people are getting a little bit ticked off at. Now, I did talk about this the other day on a stream, and oh no, I think I made a standalone video about it. Now, this project is being called the Dreamscapes of Justice League, a motion comic, but even some copyright people have said, don't call it that. Like, don't call it that. Call it like the Dreamscapes of Zack Snyder. Don't put Justice League there, because this right here is Justice League. That is the font that was used in the actual advertisements. And so Warner's might clap down on that pretty hard.
Mm-hmm.
And looking here at just the description from the trailer, we can see here that it's being directed by Matthew Miranda and Maruf Hussein. Now, when I criticize Matthew Miranda, who also is Lightcast, who I'm just personally not a fan of, I was told that he is not directing it. Never mind that it did say here that he is directing it. So that's a little bit weird. But it is based on the original storyboards by Zack Snyder, Jim Lee, and Jeff Johns. So they're using that as a way to tell that story, and they have Ray Porter doing the narration, and also Henry Lennox, as well as a lot of other people are going to be out there.
Yeah, Ray Porter will be there as Darkseid as well.
Yes, which I have said, and I stand by my statement on this, that him doing an unofficial production basically means that his contract is up, and they probably won't be renewing it.
I mean, I don't know if I go that far, but
no, that's you have to understand, RJ. That is how the industry works. If you are paid to be a character, and you are that character in an unofficial production, it doesn't matter what the reason is. That, and remember, that word charity doesn't apply here. When we're talking intellectual property rights, the word charity doesn't apply. So it's one of those things where it's like he's no longer playing the role. And so
couldn't they sign a new contract though?
If he's going to go out and do these unofficial projects, why would they?
Well, I mean, having other actors who have been like, Thomas Jane did a fan film for The Punisher.
True. And that was in 2007.
Yeah,
I think. And his movie was in 2004, and he never went back to the role.
Well, I mean, what about I don't know for sure. Haven't Star Trek actors done fan
Star Trek actors? Yes. They have. They've reprised their role for fan films. Again, well after we ever saw them in anything again. So wow. It's like, and they're not talking about going back and bringing, Nichelle Nichols back on Star. They might, but you never saw Leonard Nimoy in one of those fan films, and you never saw William Shatner in one of those fan films. But you might get whoever played Chekhov, and you might get whatever. So it is, again, generally speaking, if you're going to go and reprise these roles in an unofficial production, you're not doing it through SAG. You're not doing it through whatever guild you're with. And that's a big issue as well. A lot of times, though, these executives do take issue with that. So, that's kind of the thing you need to keep in mind here. I know people out there are going to disagree with me on that, and that's my take, and that's fine. Peter Rabbit's Defender here says Matthew Miranda is a cool dude, though. Yeah, I mean, the thing is, behind the scenes, There's been a lot of accusations of bullying in regards to try to get scoops to pass on to Taylor from the Cultured Nerd. There's a whole thing from behind the scenes, and some people even in this chat, I know for a fact, are fully aware of that. So, no, it's that's my take on it though. And he's hit me up also pushing for things to do.
Rodney
Anyway.
P actually asked a good question about children's hospitals. Like, what's the difference between how like Chris Evans or like Tom Holland will go to a children's hospital as their characters?
That's not being filmed.
They take photographs of it though, don't they?
But that's not.
It?
Well, that's not an unofficial production. That's going to go out. That is like a cameo sort of thing, where like they're not going to. It's different because if they're taking pictures, that's still photography. That's not considered like videography, or that's not considered like an actual production. That is going to be a continuation of the main canon storyline, or a continuation of that character in, I guess you could say, the setting of which it's originally from. So, having like Chris Evans go out there in Captain America, or like when Ryan Reynolds stole the Deadpool costume, or, Johnny Depp as Captain Jack, they're doing that at that point. They are playing those characters, but they are playing those characters in a very limited, non-produced capacity that is not being broadcast on the internet or in a movie theater.
Gotcha. That makes sense.
There are things there about like where it's put out and how it's put out. It's a whole thing. It's not as cut and dry in some cases, but for the most part, like, and also like when it comes to, let's say, Johnny Depp, Ryan Reynolds, Chris Evans, no one is going to push back on them. Someone like Ray Porter, who doesn't have a lot of, like he does voice acting work and he's very good at it. He'll be able to find work doing other things, but we can already tell that with the New Gods being canceled and the way that they're taking things, Darkseid probably isn't going to be making a comeback.
I mean, you never know.
No,
you never know.
I'm not going to relitigate this because I tell you
guys.
I
know.
I have explained so many times. It's always that. Well, no, don't pull a Max on me. Max here says wouldn't want to upset a possible official return, and that's the case. And then also Sil here says sometimes the studio sets up those hospital visits, and that is also very true. So there are other things with that too. Studios generally tend to approve a lot of this kind of stuff.
Right.
So my girlfriend just messaged me. She's like, I can hear you talking.
Too loud, Mac. Goddamn.
Too loud. You're too loud. You're going to wake the baby. No, not at all. But anyway, let's take a look here at this. This is coming in from Reddit. This is because this is on the DC cinematic group. This is definitely a group full of a lot of DC fans. What we're talking about here is
I didn't even know I made a Reddit.
262,000 people are in this group, and they're the ones out and they're talking about this whole thing about the dreamscapes of Justice League in motion comic are traced. This is a controversy right now because it needs to be. Oh, and before we go in, here's just a quick thought. I mentioned this before on the other video I made too. Where's Ray Fisher in all of this? That's my question. So, yeah, that's a question.
I mean, maybe he's busy.
To give his voice. I mean, come on. If it's for charity, RJ, it's for charity.
I don't know what's going on. I don't talk to Ray Fisher personally. I don't know what's going on.
See what I mean? Anyway, I'm just kind of being a jerk. Don't mind me. No. Okay. So this is one of the images that came out from the motion comic, and it looks fantastic. It does. It looks really good. But I'm not going to lie, RJ, when I first saw this, you know what my first thought was? It looks too good. I'm not kidding you. It looks too good. And it looks kind of familiar to an extent. And so it's like, so someone put this one here and then they put it up against an official comic panel, very similar.
Yeah, that's Jason Fabuk. I think that's how you say his name.
And so it's very similar. It's a little different, but it's still like, the mouth is a little different and everything else. I don't think I can zoom in on this very well. Let me see if I can. It's like a, yeah, it's
Yeah.
kind of,
Well, more people were pointing out the Jon Stewart.
yeah. The Jon Stewart look here is basically identical, and then Kilowog is very close to that as well. But this is basically an identical look. I don't know if I'd go as far as to say tracing, but it is definitely inspired by.
Yeah, and that's
Like,
something that Lightcast, I believe, tweeted out that
yeah,
in some
and
of the
I
images they were taking inspiration.
I do have that tweet up here as well. And then you've got this image here
This was the
of,
one that got people upset. This is the
yeah,
one
yeah,
that I
this,
saw really like kind of took things to a new level.
oh yeah, no, because flat out, this is definitely one that caught a lot of people's attention. So you've got this image here of Wonder Woman. And it's not even like Gal Gadot. It's not, doesn't look anything like her, but then again, likeness rights are a thing. So there's that. And she's got like the cape right there. And I mean, this is Jim Lee art right here. I don't know why the hell that's stupid.
What the heck is
Hootsuite thing.
Yeah, what the hell is that?
I don't know. It's like I can't get rid of it. It's so, it screws up sometimes. Oh God, let me just refresh it. Stupid.
Damn you, Reddit.
No, it's an extension I have. Okay, so you got this here, and then you've got this look here, and it's a little different, but at the same time, it's also pretty damn identical.
Well, especially the hair. The hair.
The hair is a giveaway. Yeah, the color palette's a bit different, but it's like it's still very similar. And a lot of people are having, and I think there's a legitimate concerns to be made about that, to be honest with you.
No, and I understand why people are concerned about this because again, plagiarism in the art community is a very big deal. I mean, we joked. I think it was a couple streams ago. We were talking about Butch Hartman. He got into trouble for tracing a Japanese artist's drawing of an Attack on Titan character. It's a big no-no in the art community to trace over other people's work. That's something that can get you in a lot of trouble. Like people get very upset and defensive about that.
Yeah, especially, yeah. And so I can see why people are a little bit ticked off about this. And then you got this image here of Superman, also by Jim Lee, I believe.
No, that's the emotion comic right there.
Oh, that's sorry. My mistake. Yeah, this is, I should have the color palette was very similar.
Yeah.
And then you've got
that's the
Jim Lee one, right? So, I mean, it's very similar. It's very inspired by, a little bit different. And then Ryan Zieverfett has, who is a friend of ours.
Yeah, I asked him about this directly on Mad Max's stream about this because he is an artist. He is working on the project, and I was curious what he thought about everything.
Yeah, and he confirmed that he was taking inspiration from Jim Lee, who's one of his favorites, who is his favorite artist.
Yeah. Well, he drew The Flash. I know there's another artist working on drew I think the Wonder Woman piece with someone else.
Yeah. And so, I mean, clearly they are putting in the effort into this, but they are taking inspiration from a lot of known entities, a lot of known artwork. And that is something that might actually be pretty interesting down the road. Now, Sil here says they admitted inspiration only after it was called out publicly. If no one questioned it, then we never would have known, which is very true. And so having, and then he says here, my artist friends are pissed off the most because of integrity. And that is something that is also going to be something that pops up into this, because what you have is you have people that are defending this by saying, well, it's a motion comic. No one is making any money at it. What does it really matter? True. I think that is something worth, taking into consideration. And as much as I happen to not be a fan of Lightcast and Cultured Nerd, I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt on this one.
No, I think it's a really neat idea. I like the people involved with this for the most part. I think it's cool they got Harry Lennox and Ray Porter involved. I'm looking forward to it, and I think it is for a great cause, obviously, is what they're trying to, raise money for AFSP, which is a great thing. They're trying to do something positive.
Oh, no, that's very true. That's very true. Now, Lightcast did, in fact, respond to this earlier this afternoon. And he says, we've seen a few concerns re the JL motion comic art, that some of our art is inspired by the drawings of Jim Lee, Jason Fabuk, and Ivan Reis. Most of the drawings you'll see on this project will be 100% newly created original art, and we're very excited for y'all to see it. You've only seen 1%. Now, that comes across like a very, boilerplate response. But what catches me, what just caught my eye about this is the fact that Hashtag Justice League motion comic is the thing people are using.
Yeah, it is a hashtag. I mean, it has been covered by various publications like Screen Rant. I know wrote articles about it. I think Comic Book Movie as well.
Yeah, so why haven't they actually? Why didn't he mention it here? It's a little bit weird, right? Little suspicious to an extent.
Perhaps. I mean, at the end of the day, like I told you this privately, I would like to believe that they're being honest and transparent about this because I have no reason to doubt them as of right now. I mean, I would hope that they are taking, even if the allegations are not true on their end, that they examine what's going on and say, okay, well, let's make sure that we're being careful about this and make sure that, they're not getting ammo to people who are saying this about our work.
Yeah. Oh no, 100%. And I think they need to come out and they need to defend it if it's that's the case. Now, this guy here, Resident Grigo, who actually is against, I think, no, this guy may not be the one I'm thinking of. Is talking about the copyright law of it all. But then you got this guy here, Ishmael Sanchez, who points out, like, let me a second, bring that up. Jesus.
Yeah, it's like Twitter.
God, I hate when people do that. It's like, just put it in multiple images.
But then they couldn't cover. Then they could cover it all. I guess I don't know.
No, you could do 4 images. All right, well, let's zoom in on this. There, that's a little bit too much. Anyway.
Oh wow, that's Mara right there. That pose.
Yeah. So I mean, clearly it's inspired by a bunch of different things. And in some cases, it does maybe appear that it might be a little bit too much inspired by.
Yeah, the Flash one's a bit of a stretch, though. I don't.
Well, no, the Flash one is, I mean, the pose is there.
That's I think Flash pose, though.
Yeah. I'm not. Yeah, that's something somebody pointed out. But I think you can clearly see the influences that are there, and so I'm kind of torn on it from the perspective of like, is this a bad thing? Is this a good thing? Whatever. But a lot of people are just kind of like, calling them out, like, don't lie. Inspired by, yeah, sure. I mean, this is where you're starting to see a lot of fans that are.
I'm kind of surprised by the responses that tweet's getting. Well, what's the comments on Reddit been like? I'm just curious.
The comments on Reddit have actually been a beautiful lie. Someone here says, oof, big oof. Azuritz here says, I mean, on one hand, dang, on the other, it's a free fan made cartoon. And then someone else here says, I may not be a fan of the project, but I don't see it as a big deal. However, they should have just said they were using those as a base and credit original artists and everyone would be happy, which is true. And then I agree with Still here, who says you can't hide behind charity. Again, they never would have admitted inspiration if they were never called out, which is very accurate. So that's one of those things where it's like, okay. Now the Green Speedster here says, the problem is that Lightcast claimed that it was all original art and that was some that were just inspired by the original pieces, with one of the artists even overlaying the Wonder Woman piece over Jim Lee's original to prove that point, which only proved that it was definitely traced.
I believe it's in reference to Dawson.
Oh, did Dawson?
Yeah, he did reply to this when someone talked about the tracing thing. He did like post some pictures and talk about Photoshop or something.
That's what you were referring to when we were talking about Photoshop. I didn't know what you were talking about.
Yeah, because I know Dawson commented on this because I'm not for sure what his involvement in. I mean, Dawson's a good guy, and I believe him when he's talking about that.
Yeah, so it's like, you think what we saw only makes up 1% of the film. They'd show off something that wasn't blatantly plagiarized to back themselves up, but so far they haven't. And that is a very astute point, in my opinion.
Well, they could just be revealing stuff that they finished rather quickly, though, to give them the benefit of the doubt. Perhaps maybe the original pieces are just taking a longer time, and they want to show them off when they're ready, and they feel comfortable sharing them when they look their best.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, but then again, the inspiration aspect of it probably should come out faster. Now the Green Speaker says here, these are just the ones that I noticed because he's the OP of the thread, but I wouldn't be shocked to find out there are shots of Batman, Flash, Mara that were recently shown off that were traced as well. Either way, spread the word around social media if you can. Now, this is where I think we start kind of coming into what could be like a coordinated attack against Lightcast and everyone working on this property, because there is a division in the Snyder Cut fan base right now. There has been for a while. and it's only escalating to some extent. And so if this guy is saying either way, spread the word around social media, that's kind of that kind of comes off a bit as cancel culture-y.
A little bit, yeah. I feel like it's a lot of people like mobilizing stuff. Wow, apparently they just called out another piece actually.
Can you send me the?
Yeah, I'm putting it in the private chat. Yeah.
All right, let me just.
There's like that's how I found out about this, because I follow Walt Uber Kryptonian on Twitter, and that's where I saw a lot of this.
All right, let me bring this up. I haven't seen this yet, so I don't necessarily know. I'll just go over this one. Okay. So, all right. So he says here, I'm all for this fan made comic, but not if it's tracing and stealing over other people's artwork. And so, okay, from the cultured nerd, right? I mean, yeah. I mean, again, we've seen this side by side, but it looks very similar. The hair specifically looks very similar.
Yeah, it's kind of just recapping a lot of what we talked about, but there was a new one at the bottom. Yeah, the Batman one.
Here's this Batman piece. I mean, Batman. Yeah, let's see. Well, the stance is a bit wider.
Well, yeah, because it's a different suit.
Yeah, and then he's also like got a batarang versus the grapple.
Yeah, that's why I'm saying I don't know, like.
But the gargoyle, that's the same fucking gargoyle.
Yeah, yeah, it is. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, again, the inspiration part of it.
Which is fine. Like they're being, I mean, at least they're upfront about it right now, I guess, you know.
Well, only, like Sil said, only after being called out. And that is something that does need to be, you know, talked about, I think. Okay. And so you said here that RJ, sorry, no, RJ, you're RJ, that Dawson has deleted the tweet. Okay, real quick here. We did get a couple super chats real quick. Mad1306 here says, did you see the DC comic of Starfire's daughter? Fans hate it, call it woke, because she's nothing like her mother, and she also looks like the writer people say.
Yes, I know what comic he's talking about. It looks absolutely horrendous.
That's the girl who's thick, right?
Yeah, the thick-looking goth girl.
Yeah, okay.
Who's the daughter of Starfire, who looks oddly similar to the writer. Of
my god, it's so much. Yeah,
by the way, apparently it's like a junior graphic novel for like kids, like teenagers.
Oh, okay.
Like it's it's not like an ongoing comic. It's like a one-off graphic novel.
Okay, somebody should say. I think there's a trailer for it. Someone should send me that, and we'll take a look at it. And then Saggy here with $5.
Oh, she wants you to sing this, by the way.
Okay, she wants me to sing this. Jingle bells, RJ smells, Jarbo ran away, Saggy came to make it rain. This stream's really lame. Cool. Hit like if that made you cringe. Let me hit like on my own video.
Oh my god. All right, I linked the trailer. They turned off comments.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
But it has 16,000 downvotes.
Jeez. Okay, we'll take a look at that here in a sec. But I just want to kind of get back to this point. So, I mean, a lot of people out there, you know, are kind of like, the comics kid is talking about this.
Is he? I stopped following him. He was kind of.
Oh my god, dude.
He's a big. I mean, he is editor-in-chief of
the Geeks Worldwide. The Geeks Worldwide is a pretty big is a decent sized website.
Plus, he has a lot of industry friends as well.
Yeah. Yeah. How do you claim with the straight face you aren't tracing, but just caught the same inspiration? Has anyone informed these artists? These guys. I mean, like,
this is getting bad.
It's like it ain't looking good. I know Zeverfet said earlier tonight that that clearly they are, you know, that this is his right here and it's inspired. And he said he did a YouTube video, right, where he talked about it or whatever.
Yeah, no, Ryan's a good guy. I don't think they're doing this maliciously. I don't think they're doing this to like, oh, just, you know, just a copy.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like I said, I think this is made with good intentions. I don't know.
Yeah. You know, but the thing is though, anyone who already, because the thing is, like, as far as I know, Casey Walsh here does not like Snyder Cut.
Well, he doesn't like the fans. He
doesn't
like he doesn't like the Snyderverse fans. He's very much
yeah. I fully expect like Bleeding Cool to talk about this, like Rich Johnson. They're going to sit there, who knows, maybe bounding into comics or cosmic book news. This is probably going to end up getting blown the F up, to be honest with you. Here's the thing. At the end of the day, it's like there's clear inspiration, and that's fine. Okay. Oh, Casey Walsh hates light cast and the cultured nerd. Oh, yeah. Okay. That makes a lot of sense. Also, Rhea here says, help get our girl Saggy to 1K. Yeah, that's true. She got to 1K, and then for some reason, everyone unsubscribed. I wonder who told them to do that.
Probably you.
I did, actually, but I was joking. I didn't think they'd listen to me. I'm nobody. But anyway, no, that's pretty goddamn funny. I don't know. This is like I said this the other day. I think Warner's if here's the thing, if Casey, if these guys, if these people with industry contacts start getting mad and like getting really stinky over this kind of stuff, expect Warner Brothers to come down with the ban hammer.
I mean, I would hope not, because that could raise all hell if they decide to put the ban hammer on this thing.
Yeah, no, that's true. I mean, it would probably raise all hell.
I'm just saying, I don't think it's a good idea to like strike this thing down, because you're just going to piss off a lot of fans.
Well, but the thing you have to remember, RJ, okay, this is how it works when it comes to trademark law, is if you do not defend your trademark, you can lose your trademark.
I understand that, but Ryan on the stream, I talked to him about this on Mad Max's channel. He said that they already got lawyers that are looking into stuff, and they say that they're fine right now. Like, no one's going to be coming against them.
True. At the same time, Ryan does create artwork to sell that is not copyright friendly on Teespring until it gets booted down. Like, I'm just saying, it's like, I like Ryan and he makes good stuff, but it's like, when it comes to copyright within elements of this fandom, people don't always respect it. So, I mean, and the thing is, here's the thing is they can get lawyers. How much, what is the budget on this thing? That's my question. Who's funding this thing?
A lot of it is undisclosed.
Yeah. Well, I think that should be something. I do. I think that should be something. Why isn't that information being talked about? Who is bankrolling this thing? Is Zach bankrolling it from behind the scenes? He seems to be supportive of it. I'm asking. I don't know. I'm just asking. It's kind of a weird thing, isn't it? Like, this is clearly a very, they're aiming for very high quality. That requires time and effort. And people are going to need to be paid for their work. Or it maybe not the artist, but whoever's going to be doing your sound mixing and your editing and all of your legal, if they've already got lawyers looking at it, that's billable hours. That is money. Who is financing this? That should be the question people are asking.